My name's John Bisetto. We're out at Narracon, which is 20 kilometres north of Griffith. I've got a small horticultural property here of wine, grapes and citrus. Because of that hot weather we had, the 40-degree heat, they've re-greened.
And use their sunscreen.
I think of every year as it could be a drought year. You've got to think for worst case scenario. You've got to be ready already. So I plan my water, I check my budget every month, how much I've used. Even if we have rainfall, because things could turn, it could stop raining.
So our perennial horticulture project was focused on drought preparedness for the growers of citrus, nuts, vine, grapes, also cherries, a few stone fruit. It is focused on thinking through management options supported by technology so growers can make better decisions about irrigation.
So if it stops growing, I know that I'm obviously not irrigating properly.
We chose these perennial horticulture crops because they're a large contributor to our export industries and also to our domestic markets. They're also really prone to issues around lower water allocations. They're not crops that can be pulled out or only grow for a year. They're in for 20 years, 25 years. So within that scale of time, there's always going to be a dry period. So our work is focused on how can we use water wisely within the orchards so that they can get a crop and that they're prepared to get a good crop the next year when they bounce back after drought. The issue was that over time, as technology increased, growers were using more technology in their orchards but not understanding how to make the best use of that technology in their decision making.
We always try and put a sensor out in the dryland zone.
Our project collaborators were the Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development, in particular Robert Hugers and Stephen Fallavine. They had developed previously and delivered water-wise workshops, very much focused on sound irrigation practices.
Irrigation management is now part of the course, is the plant physiology part of irrigation management.
DPI developed or co-designed with growers a new program called the Irrigation Masterclass, which very much focused on the plants themselves, what the sensors were telling the growers about the plants and how to interpret the data to make better decisions about irrigation to keep those vines productive.
What we're looking at on the computer came from that one over there. They said there's a new generation of growers, there's a new generation of technology, and we're not utilising the technology properly, and we'd like you to do some more workshops. So we didn't just stand up the front and tell them how to do it. We set up trials in the field and the growers learnt from each other. They started to learn how to use technology better, and that's allowed them to better utilise their water and to make better produce from that water.
You can't make mistakes, there's too much money involved. You can go broke very easily. I want the biggest crop possible because that's my income, that's my wage. So I want to grow the best crop every year, and I went because I wanted to be better. I wanted to be efficient with my water because it's not a resource that's unlimited, and you've still got to produce good crops, but you've got to do it with less water.
And they grow when everything's good.
We've seen some benefits in the realm of 0.6 to 2.2 megalitres per hectare water savings just from making better decisions supported by data on farm around irrigating perennial horticulture crops. The more we're able to continue to develop and deliver and roll these out with growers, the better these courses become, the more hands-on they become, the easier they are to adopt, and the more confident growers are to continue in the industry and to continue to produce the sorts of food that we're used to seeing on our table.